This is the Cobra 3 fully automated trading system on the E-mini S&P testing back. I set the date to 1997, November the 3rd, 1997. That's when the electronic E-mini S&P started trading intraday on the day session data. And so we're testing back to that time frame. This is a strategy originally developed in the 2004-2005 time frame, way back in this time frame. And you can see how, and now these results are without slippage and commission, and you can see the average trade profit is $57. This is usually a very tight profit target of 600, stop loss of 600, and you can see the drawdown here. You can see the long trades are more profitable than the short trades, which makes sense. And so I want to go over the list of inputs to show you this strategy setup. These are the strategy parameters. I've recently updated this in 2020 to add additional things like don't trade on holiday. We have this max daily entry set to 1. It's an open parameter that could be changed to more than 1. We trade most of the day. We could take a trade anywhere between the start time and the finish time. And then there is the exit time. This trades on 15-minute charts. Uses a limit entry point input, an R1 and R2. Those are proprietary. And then a $600 stop loss and a $600 profit target. I adjusted the strategy so that it will test back to 1997 because we have VIX data that only goes back to 2003. And so by default, this won't test back to 1997 if that code is using the VIX data. Basically, this code says that it won't trade if the VIX goes above 100. The VIX has never gone above 100. This is a forward-looking input to say we don't want to trade if the VIX is above 100 in the future. And so backtest-wise, it does not affect it. And so far, since we've put this input in here, it does not affect it. But going forward, you know, you're in a situation where if you have World War III or something crazy, you probably don't want to put in trades with a 100 VIX, you know, with a $600 stop loss. You'll probably get stopped out pretty quickly and with massive amounts of slippage, you know, 5 to 10 times that potentially. And so that is the input settings for this. These are the data settings. You have to change this to a front month contract. For now, that would be at ESZ22.D or at ESZ22 with a custom session. We're only using the day session data. Advancers, decliners are all on 15-minute charts. And then you have at ES.D again. I did this in case we wanted to trade that to a micro contract. It would reference this. And then the VIX. And so you need the real-time E-mini data, which is the CME data 2 package. You need the NYST package. And CBOE VIX is no charge on TradeStation. It's automatically there. So those are the data settings for this setup. I want to look at this strategy setup with a larger profit target. Before I do want to clarify that this is the at ES.D, and when I said it needs to be changed to at ESZ22.D, that is as of December. In November of 2022, we're talking about the front month for automation, and you would also reduce the amount of data to about 7 months back to do that. Also, the slippage and commission is not in these reports, but it is in the reports on the Cobra 3 page, and I'll show you where that is in a minute in this video. So you can see the raw data here, and you can see the report with the slippage and commission on the Cobra 3 page as well. Using an $1,100 profit target, you get a $70 average trade profit. That is boosted. Here is the equity curve, a nicer looking equity curve, and you also see you can take a look at the periodical returns to see what the average trade profit is, say over the last 12 months, which is 123 in this case. 2575 divided by 167 is 123, and so you have a higher average trade profit, about $100 over in 2022, and higher than $100, about $150 in 2021. And so let's look at the long trades and the short trades in this case. Similar results if you have, you get $87 average trade profit on the long trades. Long side has done better. Obviously, we've been in a bull market over, the last 25 years. More than a bear market, this testing back once again to 1997. Cobra 3. Let's look at this without a profit target. If you simply double the profit target at 1200, you get similar results. 1100 is a little better. So let's look at this without a profit target. So without a profit target, you get a more volatile equity curve. The average trade profit is about the same. The drawdown is higher, and so those are the performance summaries with a $600 profit target, $1,100 profit target, and no profit target, all using a $600 stop loss. I want to point out the fact that you can use the style on a chart without it affecting the strategy. So I have open, high, low, close. If you want to use a candlestick chart like this, it does not change results. The results are the same. You can write strategies that are based on candlestick patterns, but this strategy, it would not affect the back test whether the style of the chart was actually on a candlestick or not. Now this strategy here does not necessarily take a look at candlestick patterns, but I wanted to point out that the style of the chart is independent of the actual strategy back test. And so that is the Cobra 3 E-mini S&P, going over the latest setups as of November the 22nd, 2022. I want to go over the automation and back test settings for Cobra 3 E-mini S&P, and I changed the symbol to @es.d, and so I'm going to show you that data, edit symbol, and you have @es Z22.D going back 7 months. And the reason we have to do that, you have to have the front month contract. And in December, the second Thursday of December, the stock indexes roll. And every second Thursday of the rollover month, the stock indexes roll. And that will change to @ESH23.D. If you're watching this in the future in 2023, you can contact us to ask us about the latest symbol for automation. But this is the latest symbol right here as of the end of November 2022. We're trading December E-mini S&P futures going back 7 months using the local. You have to use local in this case because we're using data from different exchanges, so you can't use exchange on this because these have different time zones. Advancers and decliners are on the Eastern time zone for their exchange setting, while E-mini S&Ps are on the Central time zone, and so you have to use local. And so local setup, and I set up my computer for Eastern Standard Time, and so the inputs are based on Eastern Standard Time. You can adjust those if you're on Central Time. And so this is the data settings for this. Let's go over the automation setup for this. So you can right-click, select, when you right click you want to say studies, edit strategies, and then you want to say automate, and then you select the account number. There can be multiple accounts in one trade station. You might have multiple futures accounts, and so you have to make sure you select the right account. I turn confirmation off, and I agree. Properties for all, you should say, you should check these. And you can have the delay if you want. You want to wait for a limit order fill. You can, or you can cancel and replace with the market right away. You can wait a certain number of seconds. You want to check this if you're, most of the time we are trading portfolios. Pretty much 100% of the time we're trading automated trading system portfolios with multiple strategies on the same symbol. So you have to check that, or you will get an error. And so you don't have to check these. If you don't check these, and the limit order is not filled, it will not take the trade. And so this is the automation settings, the backtest settings. We fill entire order when trade occurs at limit price or better. And so if we backtest it and it just touches it, if it just touches the limit or where the limit order on the hypothetical trade would be, it shows a fill on our backtest. That's why we cancel. That's why we set our automation settings to cancel and replace the limit order, because when we backtest it, we show a fill if it touches that, if it doesn't trade through. So if it touches it, it may or may not be filled. This is one part of backtesting you do not know. So if you backtest it like this, you could get a fill in live trading, or you might not. So that's why we cancel and replace, because we want to make sure we match it. And if you backtest with this, you will always you'll make sure that you know what the results are if it trades through that price. Sometimes in real trading, you can get filled at the limit without trading through, and so your results, this is actually, you'll get worse results in my opinion, based on what I've seen. So your back test would actually show worse results if you do this. You can also reduce the slippage and commission factor if you do this. And so some of the best trades trade at that price and then run and don't trade through. So you will miss some of the best trades when you back test like this, and so your results, your strategy back testing results will be better if you back test with this option. So you can see there's two settings right here. There's back testing and there's automation. If you've never done this before, you'll have to think about it for a little bit. But this is how our settings are set up for back testing and automation on all our strategies. And in this example, we're taking a look at Cobra III E-mini S&P. We have a 1-minute version of Cobra III that we trade on the Nasdaq, but you have to ask, does the 15-minute version that we trade on the S&P work on the Nasdaq? Now, with the current Nasdaq, for the current S&P parameters, the equity curve is up but very choppy, and so some of the changes that can be made to trade this on the Nasdaq as well is to double R1, to double the stop loss from 600 to 1200, and then take the profit target, set it to 2000, and those are some of the things that could work. And it has a good back test. Now the Nasdaq goes back to 2001, the Nasdaq futures. So I'm going to show you that back test. So here are the results with $25 round turn slippage and commission, and you can see the equity curve does much better in recent years, especially since the beginning of 2021. With those parameters, it is upward though, and there are probably some better ways to set this up, but obviously the best part of this is the long side. You can see the long side does much better, 85,000 out of 102 versus the short side, which is 17,000 with a $13,000 drawdown. And so we've mainly been in a bull market during this 21-year period. And so we have a 1-minute version of this that trades, and it captures this a little better because the Nasdaq's a little more volatile. And so that is to answer the question, and it is always positive when another stock index also tests well. And so that is the Nasdaq Cobra III 2020 tested on the Nasdaq futures. You can find the Cobra III page by going to Trading Systems, CapstoneTradingSystems.com, selecting Trading Systems. I'm in the process of adding my trading systems here. You can click on Cobra III ES, and this is where you can find the Cobra III page for the strategy that we're talking about. Hey, David Bean here. Welcome to Capstone Trading Systems YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to join our community of algorithmic traders. We are real money traders. We share our winning streaks, we share our losing streaks, as well as market updates, strategies, and coding tips.